Wes, congratulations. When your team needed to play its finest 20 minutes of the year with everything on the line here today, down by 8 at the break, down 10 early in the third quarter, big spurt, tied the game after, 10 straight in less than 2 minutes. Your team was able to pull it off. Congratulations.
Well, I'm just proud of them. I thought the first half we didn't play quite as urgent and hard as they did, and I thought the second half we came out with a little more energy and really proud of that. We just, we're the kind of team, we got to play defense, we got to rebound. I think we had a 21-11 advantage in second chance points, and with that team, that's impressive because their two post players both have over 100 offensive rebounds. So really proud of the way our kids hung in there and hit some big shots when we needed to. And, we've had our ups and downs, but for this group to lose 4 really good players and still finish in the top 3 in the ACC, I'm really proud of them.
And for the fans who don't realize, the 3 seed that NC State has now earned by virtue of this win and the tiebreaker with Miami is the first time in 14 years the Pack has been either a number 1, number 2, or number 3 seed in the ACC tournament. Congratulations to you and that locker room.
Well, again, proud of them. This league is tough. Miami's, they've already beaten Notre Dame and Louisville, and they're a great team. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the postseason. So we're very fortunate to get a W today. But our kids hung in there, like I said, and played really well down the stretch.
As this team ran off 21 straight wins and then the injuries started taking a big, big toll on this squad, you really do appreciate every win you're able to grab with this unit. And your players love to celebrate wins with you when you head into the locker room. Pull the curtain back. What was it like downstairs?
Well, it was funny because Lindsay, Coach Edmonds, was telling me, hey, with 6 seconds, she said, get the seniors out, get the seniors out, and that would have been nice. I was a little too late. They were already throwing it in. But I also told them down there, if I'd have got the seniors out, we'd have lost that game. Debbie would have fired my butt tonight. So, it may be better we didn't get them in. But, again, great atmosphere. I can't thank the fans enough. I'll be honest, I felt horrible. We had 2 other earlier sellouts, and we didn't win the game. We didn't get it done. And this one, again, was a little touch and go. I'm glad that we finally won a game in front of a full house. So thanks to all the fans that third, fourth quarter, it was a lot of energy in here that we could feed off of.
It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to broadcast. I know a lot of fun for the fans to enjoy. A lot of stress, I'm sure, for you. But
yeah.
We talked about this during the game, and you and I talked pregame about Dee Dee Rogers. You would not have won this ball game without Dee Dee Rogers plugging into this game from the opening tip to the final buzzer. Career high 21 points, 14 rebounds. How important was she today?
Yeah. Oh, just humongous. Again, Dee Dee's had a great senior year, and she just today, we went small some. Elisa was in foul trouble, and then when they went with the bigs, sometimes I even had Dee Dee having to guard a 5 player, so that really puts her in a tough position. But she really competed well and attacked the basket well. And, again, rebounding is something that she does extremely well, and 14 rebounds is pretty awesome, so in a game like this.
Late into the third quarter, both Kanane and Hoff get into foul trouble. It was really interesting to watch who was going to go to their big post player first. Fourth quarter began, Hoff's back on the floor, you keep Kanane on the bench. What led to the decision on when you were going to put her back in the game?
I think at the time, they just had 1 big in, and when they went back with the 2 bigs in there together, I felt like we had to go with it. KJ's playing really well right now, but those 2 bigs in there together was a really tough matchup for KJ. So we were fortunate they went small some, probably because they were in foul trouble, and that allowed us to leave KJ out there and match up. But, again, I thought, she hung in there pretty well. But, Elisa, we got to have her. We got to get her on track. We got to keep her out of foul trouble somehow. So we'll take a look at that.
All right, 2 big defining plays of this game late. One was Kiera Leslie off of an offensive rebound, blocking a shot and leading in transition. But the other one I wanted to bring up, because Ashley and I were dissecting out-of-bounds play in the baseline late in the game, Crutchfield's throwing in. You needed to make a big play call. You did. We haven't seen that all that often this year, but what led to that execution? And was Koenig the primary on that play? Yeah,
Ace was the primary, but she was supposed to be popping out and getting a shot. They did a really good job of taking that away, and she's a very high IQ player. she decided to dive down the middle of the lane and break off the play, so to speak. And it was a great cut, great pass, and you're right, that was a big bucket.
So congratulations again on filling the top three of the ACC, but I know you a little too well. You'll maybe enjoy this for a couple of hours, and the real season is what's beginning for you. So can you walk us through this week, getting a double bye? Will the girls get a couple of days off? Probably not, but can you walk us through that?
I'm really debating. I'm really struggling with that decision. We're definitely taking tomorrow off. It's just a matter, do we go real short on Tuesday? Do we take another day off? We'll see. But, that's the thing. You would like to reward them for getting the double bye, because they would rather play than practice. So if you're not careful, in the future they may say, let's just go ahead and blow it so we can play on Thursday instead of practicing. So I don't know. We'll have to look at it and see and figure it out. But definitely they deserve a rest. And we're again, with our lack of depth, we've really had to cut practice down some, although they probably wouldn't say that. But I feel like we have. So we got to be very conscious of that. And like I said, this puts us in the prime time game times now, playing late at night. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like the playing at 11 or 12 where you get out there and be on the court for an hour in normal routine. You play the last game, you don't have any clue when you're going to eventually start the game. So, but I also like the idea of finishing third. So we'll take that.
All right, one last question about the strategy of today's game, and it comes back to the subject of rest, because we saw you liberally sub very early in the game with a 6-player rotation. Was that the game plan, trying to keep Leslie fresh, Koenig fresh, and use Kayla Jones as that kind of interjector?
I'd like to do that both halves, and I rarely get to it in the second half. But, yeah, just trying to get them off the court for a minute or two. I don't want them to pace themselves. I want them to play hard when they're out there. Personally, I think, we got media timeouts. Those things last forever. You got those, and then you got the quarters now. So, you got some breaks in there, but that's easy for me to say. But, again, we would love to do that in both halves, but I hadn't been brave enough to do it sometimes.
All right, well, we talked about the gauntlet of games that NC State was going to face in February. All 6 games were going to be awfully challenging. You finish up that slate at 3-3 through
Pretty
just
good.
the absolute behemoths of this conference. How proud of this team are you because of the way they've been able to finish?
Yeah, I'm proud of that. I mean, everybody was excited. We had the 21-game winning streak, and we were 8-0 in the conference and all that. But if you realistically looked at our schedule, I mean, and that's the way it is every year in the ACC. Every team, one of those months is going to be really brutal. They're all brutal, but one of those months is going to be really tough. It just seems like it works out that way. So for us, we knew February was going to be tough. All the fans are probably thinking, oh, my gosh, the coaches have screwed this team up. We were 21-0. But you got to look at who you're playing, and we were playing the ranked teams in February. So I don't, I have a hard time with how we got beat in a couple of those games. But at the same time, an L's an L and a W's a W, and you move on. So we did a pretty good job of bouncing back after Thursday night.
All right, last question for you. Again, congratulations on the win. If my seeds are right through the rest of the ACC, you're either going to take on Florida State, Wake Forest, or Duke in that 8 p.m. game on Friday night.
Okay.
You got beat by Florida State down there, had a lead late in the game. They came through in the final couple of minutes. You beat Duke, you swept Wake Forest. How does your staff go about preparing for any of those scenarios?
Yeah, we'll have to go back up and see who had those scouts during the season. In a perfect world, a different assistant would have each of those. If somebody had 2 of them, then we'll have to, break it up a little bit. But they'll start watching film, tomorrow or whatever, probably on each of those 3 teams, and putting together a scouting report so that, we can even maybe in practice, if somebody does something a little different or something unusual you don't see every day, we can maybe prepare for that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, definitely you got to be prepared for any of them and see who comes out of there. So that's the tough part. That's why practice this week is really more just about you. But you maybe can, Duke plays zone. You maybe could work on that a little bit. Florida State, some of the things they do. So we'll try to prepare for those teams. Wake Forest we just saw a week or 2 ago, so that makes that a little bit fresher.
All right. brief last question. You can make this yes or no. You finished third in the ACC. Conference is #1 RPI in the country. You finished 25-4, 12-4 in the league. You get a win today over Miami. Is this enough to host the first 2 rounds in your opinion?
Well, I think it is, but I'm not on the committee, and so I've been surprised before. So, I think we need to go over there in the tournament feeling like we still have work to do, and we still need to make a final statement on that resume. But this definitely is a big mark on the right side for us.
All right, congratulations. See you
Thanks,
in
Patrick.
Greensboro.
Thanks, Eli.
All right, Wes.